Hey YouTube, welcome to another video. In this episode, we'll continue to work on the next generation LAN configuration, specifically for the isolated and the secluded Wi-Fi. So in a nutshell, this is the next generation LAN configuration, meaning all VLANs are firewalled or isolated from one another. Okay, so but we'll use a different diagram to discuss the progress. If you're new to Omada, if you're new to Wi-Fi, VLAN, networking, I highly suggest you watch the previous episodes about the new generation LAN configuration. This is more newbie friendly and covers 90 to 95% of the use cases for home. If you are familiar with Omada but you haven't seen previous episodes regarding the next generation LAN configuration, then I highly suggest you watch those previous episodes to be able to catch up on this video. Just to review on what we have done so far on the next generation LAN configuration, we have done admin, home, guest, camera, and IoT. So all of these are now completed. For these episodes, we will focus more on the isolated VLAN and the secluded Wi-Fi. The isolated VLAN is a VLAN that is wired only, that has internet access only and nothing else. So this is very similar to the guest Wi-Fi, meaning the isolated VLAN, these devices that are connected to this VLAN, they will not see each other, but they will be able to access the internet. So for the guests, it's wireless only. They can access the internet, but they cannot see other computers connected to the wireless. For the secluded Wi-Fi, this is very similar to the guest as well because these are both wireless. However, the main difference between the secluded Wi-Fi and the guest Wi-Fi is that the admin VLAN can access the end devices here, the host devices here. And I will demonstrate that using VNC. And before we continue with the configuration, let's proceed first with a quick review of how we are set up right now since the last episodes. So we have all of these VLANs. So you can see here as far as the access control list, we have until camera and IoT, and we're going to work on the isolated and secluded. We're not going to touch the 99-Doom VLAN. For the wireless networks, it's pretty much the same as well. Okay, we don't have the isolated because like I said, that is wired only. And for the guest VLAN 20 and for the secluded, the guest checkbox is already checked. You can see here. This enables and activates TP-Link's default ACL rules. Okay, as far as the profiles is concerned for the groups, we already have all of these, around 8 of the IP groups that we have created so far. Okay, there is one IP port group, this one that I have created in the last episodes that I haven't used or demonstrated, and I received questions regarding how to demonstrate this, and I will do that in the future episodes. Okay, services, I haven't really done anything much here. MDNS, nothing has really changed. For the clients, it's the same 5 devices. I have the custom DNS server, the one of the IoT machines or Raspberry Pi machines that I used as an IoT device. Okay, this is the OC300 controller 0.100. I have the Pi machine, the one that you can see on the lower left of the video, and this PC is my machine. This is my actual PC, as you can see here. This one 109 109. Okay, this is the OC300 controller 0.100 0.100 over there, and you can see that icon there. I'm logged in. Okay, I have also preloaded here the cloud controller so that if I needed to use the cloud because I lost access to the local controller because of the ACLs, then I will still be able to access it from the internet. Okay, so and then we have the devices. So for the devices, still the same number of devices. I haven't updated the firmware because I haven't really tested it yet, so I cannot use it for this lab. I pre-tested some of those ACLs in here in this current version of the firmware. Okay, so let's just review the ACL here. Okay, we have a total of 12 now, 11 if we remove the backup. But okay, so let's go on with the first part of the video for this episode, which is the isolated VLAN. The isolated only requires internet but doesn't require access to anything else. So this is going to be pretty much straightforward and a quick one. So if you have an idea of how to do this, if you have seen the previous episodes in the new generation LAN configuration, you probably have seen me doing this. But if you haven't seen it, now is the time to challenge yourself, post this video and see if you can figure out what are the commands to allow that type of isolated functionality or capability for the VLAN. So this one will be permit. Let's see what's a good name for that one. Isolated to internet. So to shorten the internet, I'm just using iNet. Oh man, I'm terrible with this typing. So click permit, select all, and you will need to have a bidirectional here, mainly because you would like to have the traffic sent from your clients back and forth to the gateway. So as the term imply, permit isolated to the internet. So that means I have to select the isolated here first. So that's the first clue of how I'm going to create this ACL. Okay, and this one I will use an IP group. Okay, and I will call it isolated gateway. So isolated gateway 192.168.40.1/32. You need a /32 here to just have communication between your end devices and the gateway. Just succeeded. Create. Let me drag it up there. Okay, and that should be it. So let's demonstrate how it works. Let's check the isolated ports in here. Pretty sure I pre-selected the ports here already. So yeah, I have ports 4 and 5 here. So these are the ports. If you're looking at the screen, these are the ports. Okay, these are both isolated VLAN. The idea of the isolated VLAN is that they have internet access, but they cannot see the peers and neighbors. Okay, so let me transfer this. I will use this as my first machine to test, and I will use my PC here as another test. Another client. So there are now 2 wired clients in the isolated VLAN. Then we can test it whether they can see each other. Okay, let me first test the internet access. So how do I test the internet access? So now I'm in the isolated VLAN. I should have the 40 IP address. There you go. You can see here 40.103. And let's check another client in here. See what's the other client shows up here. So the Pi machine is now 40.102. So that's the IP. So you can see here the media PC is now 40.103. This is the PC that I'm using right now, and I lost access here just in case you didn't notice. So you can see the hand, the icon, the mouse cursor, it's stuck in the mouse, in the hand icon. It's not going to work because the isolated VLAN doesn't have access to the management VLAN. Okay, so however, I have internet access, and that's why I can do this. So yahoo.com, okay. And let me go to the OBS to show you how it looks as well on the screen on this desktop. Okay, so let's go CNN. Oh, it's YouTube, sorry. It's actually YouTube. Back and There you go. I have internet for both devices, and let me go back to my desktop here. So you will notice that I went to the same Yahoo website and it shows the same thing. Okay, so let me click back here. Okay, so that's isolated, but I haven't demonstrated the neighbors yet. So I'm in Pi machine and the media PC, right? So I'll ping my IP first, 40.103. So this should apply. Okay, but I shouldn't be able to see 102. Okay. 192.168.40. Whoops. 40.102. Yep, there you go. I can see it. So that's the isolated VLAN. Okay. That's fast enough. That's good. So let me go back to the admin VLAN here. And let me go back here. And now we're going to go to the secluded Wi-Fi. Okay. So now we're going to work on the secluded Wi-Fi. Secluded Wi-Fi is just internet access, but no access to the peers and neighbors. But the admin VLAN to get VNC access to the secluded Wi-Fi. Okay. So this is very important idea to understand that the access point is connected to the switch. Therefore, there must be a connection or traffic flow between these, because your end device is in here. It's wirelessly connected to the access point, then access point to the switch, and then goes to the gateway, and then goes into the internet. So that's how the traffic flows. So one of the requirements definitely is that we need to have your access point to communicate to the switch, because the switch can communicate back to the gateway and therefore to the internet. So that's what we would like to do first. So in order for us to do that, we need to create an in VLAN for secluded. Permit in VLAN secluded. Do that, and this one you don't need to be bi-directional, and since this is an in VLAN, the destination and the source will be the same. Secluded, and then create, and then just the same. I need to do that. I'm going to demonstrate VNC. I need to allow the VNC to communicate from the access point to the switch. Therefore, I need to make sure that traffic flows back and forth as well from the admin VLAN. That's the key. So what I'm going to do is create an additional entry here in the admin VNC here. So normally I will not do it and just add it here. I will have a line item for that one, different ACL. But for the purpose of this video and showing that you can group them together, I'll do that here. Okay. Secluded VNC, and it needs to be /24 so that all devices in the secluded Wi-Fi VLAN. Okay, let's create, then have it checked, and then click apply. Now you would think that this will already solve the problem or use case of allowing VNC to communicate to your end device, but it is not. And let me just complete the whole process, because it will require an additional ACL in here in the EAP. And the main reason for that is because your end device doesn't connect directly to the switch. It connects to the access point before it goes to the switch, and that's the reason why you have this. You have to enable the VNC to travel to the admin VLAN in the switch. Now I need to permit the VNC traffic here. So we will call it permit secluded VNC to admin. You have to remember that admin is allowed to everything. So from admin to secluded, it's already allowed. What is not being allowed is by going back to the admin. So we are doing just that with this ACL from the access point. So now IP port group, and this one you should be admin, right? Because it's going back to the admin. And then we already created the secluded VNC, and it should be like that, create. Okay, so we have created this permit, and let's just disable this for demonstration purposes so that we can show you, I can show you how it works without that. And let me disable this as first. So let me disable all of those things that we have created, and then making sure that you guys can see this, I'm going to disable this one. This is the one that we created. Okay, and let me disable that one as well. There you go. Okay, so let me just set up the test environment first. Let me connect to Secluded. Let's watch. So it says here WLAN 0 expired, and it cannot get an IP. It says 169.254.10.203/16. So this is an automatic IP addressing. That means it cannot get an IP. It can connect to the SSID, but it cannot get an IP. That's what it's saying here. So this is why we needed this. So let me click this one, and let's watch it again. Observe. So we're just observing if it can get a new DHCP now that we have allowed connection from the access point to the switch in this particular VLAN. So basically what's happening is your end device, in this particular case, this device, the Raspberry Pi, is connecting to the access point, and it connects to the VLAN secluded, and then it's trying to connect to the switch and it's past the traffic going to the gateway, but it cannot. So that's why it cannot get an IP. Now that it can pass to the switch, you can see that I get an IP of 192.168.50.100. So that's why we needed this ACL to be active. So that's the one. So I can blow this one up. Let me just demonstrate first the isolation in the Wi-Fi. So let me disconnect there. Okay, and let me connect to the secluded Wi-Fi. Let's see. Oh, there you go, it's connected now. And let's check the IP. I have internet, and I have 50.101. I don't have access to the Omada because I'm not connected to the admin VLAN, because my wired NIC is disabled. See, it's disabled, so this one is not gonna work. So you can see here my cursor is stuck again. However, I do have access to the internet, so I should be able to check it here. Security, switch ACL, okay, and you can see that. So let's go check with the clients first, and let's see the wireless client. So you can see here the Pi machine is 50.100 and the media PC is 50.101. Is that absolute? 50.101. Okay, let's check it now and ping. Let's ping our IP first. It should reply. So that's the normal behavior. And this one should not reply. I shouldn't be able to access it. One of the use cases, I shouldn't be able to access my peers and neighbors when I'm in the secluded Wi-Fi. However, I need to VNC from the admin. Imagine that situation. Even your peers and neighbors cannot VNC to the other machines, but the admin can bypass that and go through end devices. So it's pretty powerful use case. Let me disconnect the cable as well, by the way, in here. So I have disconnected here. Okay, so I'm going to connect my admin PC and admin VLAN to the secluded Wi-Fi. So I would like to demonstrate that I cannot connect through VNC here. Right now, I cannot connect. I've shown you guys how that even your peers and neighbors in the secluded Wi-Fi cannot see each other. You can see here, you cannot see each other, you cannot see each other. So let me just disconnect from here, and let me go back to the admin VLAN for faster connection. Okay, let's enable that. I will still not be able to ping this client. Come on. See, I have internet. I'm now back to the admin VLAN 01109, but I will still not be able to ping this. So I'm just waiting for it to complete the timed out. Okay, come on. Okay, so now that we're back on the admin VLAN, let's do the same thing again. Let's see if we can connect here. We still cannot connect, still not allowed. Okay, so let's go to network security and switch ACL, and let's enable this ACL. It will still not work because while I enable this here, I haven't enabled it in the admin VLAN as yet in here. So, but let's see, let's check. So as you can see, it's still not working. Okay, and now I need to click here, click apply, and let's just ensure that I have the correct IP address. For the wireless client, I have 50.100 and 50.100 here. Okay, there you go. Okay. So let me repeat that again. Network security, switch EAP ACL. So we have enabled, we need 3 ACLs to have that working. We need 3 ACLs to have that working. We need to permit the in VLAN first. This is very important. Then we need to have the necessary VLAN to connect to the access point. And then we need to poke a hole into the TP-Link's built-in ACL in the checkbox guess by allowing this. So let's do that again. Let's turn off this one, just this one. If the 2 ACLs are turned on, but that's the only one that's turned off, and let's see if it's gonna work. See, it's not gonna work. Okay, now let's turn on this one, and let's turn off this one. So there's 2 ACLs turned on, only one's turned off, and it's not gonna work. So all 3 of these needs to be turned on to be able to have access to it. Okay, so that's why I said it's a little bit tricky to enable that beyond the switch. Okay, so I have demonstrated that, and let's just quickly check again this one just to make sure we have everything. So there you go. You can see that the Ethernet 0 link is down. That means I will not be able to connect it here. No, but only here. So let me connect the Ethernet here so that you can see how it goes again. Okay, this one, I'm connecting it here. There you go. So it says link is up and is configuring, so it's all good. So now I can disconnect from here, and let's try it here. There you go. There you go. So that's how it is. You can see I have Ethernet 0 up again at 10.100, and then I'm connected to the Wi-Fi at the same time, and then I configured the Wi-Fi has the 192.168.50.100 IP address. I think one thing that we can do before we close this video is compare the ACL list. Let me pull out my new generation configuration, and let's compare the two. Okay, so this is, let's compare it and let's score it let's judge it based on simplicity. The less number of ACLs, the better. So gateway ACL, new generation versus next generation. It's a win for the next generation because there's 0 ACL in the gateway while there are 3 in here. For the EAP, it's a tie. It's a tie. Both of them have 1. And for the switch ACL, the winner is the new generation LAN configuration because it has lesser number of stations, so it's a tie. So that means it's up to you which one you would like to implement. Okay, the next generation is pretty good because you don't need to have an Omada gateway to do this configuration, and the new generation is pretty good too because it makes ACLs much simpler. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We have covered everything here on this table. However, I still have a few, maybe one more episode to discuss how to allow the default behavior of inter-VLAN communication. Okay, and again, if this helps you in any way, please share this video, drop a note, say hi, hello, or anything that helps the YouTube algorithm to make this video get promoted, and hopefully more people gets to be helped by this particular configuration. Okay, the new generation LAN configuration and the next generation LAN configurations are very powerful. And like I said, I haven't seen anything like those two configurations in the YouTube. So if you like this, please give it a like, and if you dislike it, just let me know. Please give it a dislike and let me know what you don't like, and I will try to improve. Okay, till the next video, thank you and bye bye.